A Virgin Islands sloop built in the 1920s called Intrepid has been retrieved and will now join a fleet of other traditional sloops at the HLSCC Virgin Islands Maritime Museum, courtesy of VP Bank, after some 80 years. The sloop was seized in St. Croix during one of the many excursions involving the trade of rum between the British Virgin Islands and St. Croix during the early 19th century. The sloop represents a long history of boat building in the Virgin Islands. Minister of Education and Culture Myron Walwyn said over 1,100 sloops sailed the Virgin Islands waters, serving as the primary mode of transport around and beyond the waters of the territory.
The Virgin Islands sloop played a significant role in the early development of our islands, socially and economically. On the social front, the Virgin Islands being a group of islands, the sloops were the main means of transportation between our islands. During the 1950s, Virgin Islanders traveled to Roetown, the center of commerce, via the sea, as there were no roads connecting the East End or the West End to the capital. Many young people had to sail to Roetown on Sundays, returning on Fridays in order to attend secondary school, staying with family or family friends in town. The sloops were at the very heart of the economical survival for the early Virgin Islanders. Despite being blessed with fertile soil and abundant rains, life was difficult for the early Virgin Islander. Whatever produce was grown was traded to neighboring St. Thomas and St. Croix. Sloops were used to carry charcoal, agricultural products, cassava bread, and fish to these islands. These same sloops transported Virgin Islands men to the USVI, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic to seek employment during the lean years. During the prohibition period that the governor spoke about, the sloops became essential as they were used to smuggle rum to United States Virgin Islands with lucrative results. And he spoke of, as well, we gave tribute to the practice in the song Ella Gift that tells the story of a woman from St. Thomas who visited family in Tortola, and upon her return hid bottles of rum. It was in her pantalette, Governor. I don't know if you want to. Yes. On board a sloop owned by Mr. Sonny Henley of King Garden Bay. The sloops also played a vital role in the very survival of Virgin Islanders. The beautiful aqua waters surrounding our islands were the source of food and helped many communities survive.
The Virgin Islands sloop is a great part of the BVI projection as a sailing capital of the Caribbean, says Governor Boyd McCleary, who described the Tortola sloop as a fantastic boat.
And it's a terrific asset which has now been acquired by VP Bank on behalf of the Virgin Islands to bring this fourth sloop back to its home here in Tortola. Intrepid looks like a pretty smart boat, and it'll go alongside soon Sea Moon, Moonbeam, and Youth Instructor to make a fleet of 4 Tortola sloops here in the BVI.
Sir Coster, head of banking at VP Bank BVI Limited, declined to disclose how much was spent to retrieve the Intrepid. However, he said VP Bank is pleased to be associated with the return of the traditional Tortola sloop in time for the 42nd BVI Regatta and Sailing Festival. He also indicated the coming on stream of a publication detailing how a Virgin Islands sloop is built.
We are extremely pleased and excited that we were able to facilitate the safe return of the Intrepid to the British Virgin Islands, as well as support the, which we believe is a unique publication on how to build a Tortola sloop, which Jeffrey Brooks already briefly mentioned. We're very excited and looking forward to the launch of the book, which is hopefully going to take place in the next 2 to 3 months. I would also like to take the opportunity to congratulate the author, Professor Jeffrey Brooks, also the artist, Lute Durante, who provided fantastic artwork for the book, and the publisher, A Looking Glass, which we believe is a historic publication for the British Virgin Islands. We look forward to seeing Intrepid sailing, and perhaps that I can come along on one of the first voyages. And we look forward to hearing of the Intrepid's new adventures in the many years to come.
A symbolic handing over of the Intrepid was done at the ceremony when Sir Coster handed over a tiller from the sloop to Culture Minister Marion Walwyn, who in turn handed the tiller to Professor Jeffrey Brooks, the curator of the Virgin Islands Maritime Museum. Professor Brooks.
This boat Intrepid is just fascinating. Really has been a fast track and a very interesting experience. One of the really neatest things about Intrepid is the fact that she's more than just a boat. She came with a story. And the guy, Anton, who bought her in 1935 and sold her to Dick Isherwood in, I believe, 81, he had her for almost 50 years. And he provided us with an 8-page story of all those years of the things that he did with that boat.
Professor Brooks regarded the occasion as a great day for the maritime program at HLSCC and also extended gratitude for the community's support to help sustain the program at the Maritime Center.